If you love reality shows or hate reality shows, then this show will knock your socks off, if it hasn't already. Total Drama Island premiered in 2007 and brought us the crazy challenges of reality shows, mixed with the comedy of cartoons, all with a zany cast, and even a musical season. Hi, I'm Adam with Channel Frederator, and we're here to check out the island that brought us 22 teenagers battling it out, with host Chris McLean. So get your survival skills ready, cause we've got 107 facts about Total Drama Island. Let's get started. Number 1. Total Drama Island was created by Tom McGillis and Jennifer PERTSCH. At the time, they were already known for their critically acclaimed cartoon, 16, which had previously aired on Cartoon Network. Number 2. Total Drama Island, also known as TDI, is technically the second cartoon to join the cartoon faux reality show genre, following the more adult-themed Drawn Together on Comedy Central. TDI creators admitted they were big Drawn Together fans. Number 3. The show centered around 22 teenagers trapped on a remote island of Muskoka in northern Ontario. It was a blatant parody of Survivor. At the time, studies showed that tweens were watching more reality television than ever before, and had a lot of opinions about it. Number 4. The TDI outline was developed based on tweens polls and focus groups. Research proved that the TDI demographic preferred more of the physical challenges synonymous with shows like Survivor over the backstabbing drama you might see in other reality TV shows, like The Bachelor. Number 5. Creators McGillis and PERTSCH decided to combine their audience's likes and dislikes to make the ultimate reality show for kids, ages 8 to 12. The physical challenges could be exaggerated and the problematic characters could get their comeuppance. Number 6. In 2006, TDI started development. It was produced by Fresh TV and animated at Elliott Animation in Toronto, Canada. At the time, the show was going to be named Camp TV. Number 7. The show started on the Teletoon Network on July 8, 2007. It premiered a year later in the States on June 5, 2008, and in the UK the following year on April 1st, 2009. Number 8. Season 1 of TDI was flash animated and cost a whopping $8 million to produce. Just for reference, usually a cartoon budget only runs several $100,000. Number 9. McGillis and PERTSCH founded half of Fresh TV. They teamed up with Elliott Animation to make TDI, which was the first independent cartoon produced within their very own studio. Number 10. A lot of the authenticity of the show is said to come from co-creator Jennifer PERTSCH, who watches about 6 hours of television a day. Film and television had always been her life, especially since her father was the president of Universal Canada growing up. Number 11. McGillis and PERTSCH met back when they both worked for the production company Nelvana. They bonded over being huge fans of story and writing, particularly 80s films from their generation. Number 12. TDI's art style was inspired by the controversial MTV show called Clone High, that centered around a high school filled with clones of famous people. TDI's two directors, Mark Thornton and Todd Kaufman, actually worked on Clone High and brought that specific style to the table. Number 13. The initial response while attempting to sell the show to different networks was that it was too big of a concept and too tall of an order. A year after failed attempts, Cartoon Network bought the show and the ratings skyrocketed. Number 14. TDI is an international success. After Cartoon Network bought the show, other networks lined up, and shortly after, TDI was broadcasted worldwide. Number 15. The creators attribute their success of tween shows to their love of John Hughes films. McGillis and PERTSCH were both big Hughes fans growing up, and they claim he influenced most of their stories and opinions. Number 16. TDI featured 22 original contestants split onto two different teams, the Screaming Gophers and the Killer Bass. The winner of the show alternates depending on the country in which the show is being broadcast, as there were two alternate endings created with every season. Number 17. The host of the show is named Chris McLean, and if he looks or seems familiar at all, it's because he's a parody of the Survivor host Jeff Probst. Number 18. TDI was the third ever show broadcasted on Cartoon Network that received a PG rating outside of Adult Swim, or Toonami. It actually had a parental guidance warning after each commercial break. Number 19. We know Owen as the winner of Total Drama Island, but in Finland, Norway, Poland, Romania, and Sweden, Gwen was the official winner. As it turns out, when Owen chased after the brownie smell, he tackled them down before the finish line, which allowed Gwen to finish first. Number 20. The show was treated like a real real reality television show. The entire cast and crew had to sign a confidentiality agreement so as to not disclose the winner. Number 21. Chris POTENZA, who played Jude on 16, starred as the host of TDI, Chris McLean. Chris POTENZA also was the voice of MePhone 4 in the online animated series Inanimate Insanity. Inanimate Insanity was also heavily inspired by both Total Drama Island and Survivor. Chris POTENZA only appeared in the first episode. Number 22. Voice actor Emily Claire Barlow was both on 16 and TDI, but her most popular role was Sailor Mars on the hit anime Sailor Moon. Still, Emily claims that Courtney from TDI was her all-time favorite role. Number 23. The idea for the show started as Escape from Summer Camp, where a group of teens were stranded at a cheesy summer camp. From there, the idea morphed into a reality show. Number 24. To set themselves apart from the show Drawn Together, TDI added an elimination ceremony. They wanted a different approach that was more like an actual reality competition, where you become invested in which characters stay and go. Number 25. Showrunner Tom McGillis said that if he were to pick any reality show to be a contestant on, he would choose The Amazing Race. On the opposite side of the spectrum, his least favorite reality show is America's Next Top Model. Number 26. McGillis and PERTSCH were intrigued by the reality show setup because the reality genre took television by storm. The idea of people pushing their limits beyond what they thought they were capable of makes for good television and seemed perfect for animation. Number 27. In the spirit of TDI, showrunner Tom McGillis enrolled in a Toronto version of City Chase, which is an urban adventure scavenger hunt. McGillis had to pose nude for a class, eat live worms, and scale a 50-foot wall. Oh, is that all? Number 28. TDI's contestants were designed off of real archetypes you would see on a reality show. McGillis and PERTSCH studied reality TV and claimed there was a pattern on how they cast contestants. Number 29. McGillis also drew inspiration from contestants' behavior that he hated. He references Kimmy's whining from the Survivor Outback series as his most hated contestant behavior ever. Number 30. One of the toughest challenges the designers faced was making each of the 22 characters stand out in their own way. Every character on the screen has their own distinctive characteristics, down to their very own silhouette. Number 31. Technically, the actors finalized the character development. The animators claim the show is nothing more than a moving comic book until the actors bring the personality forth in their vocal performances. Number 32. The creators didn't want a mature animation style like Drawn Together. Instead, they wanted to create a trend by attracting an older teenage audience back into watching cartoons. Number 33. During the development process, a slew of characters were created, some of which eventually evolved into the final lineup featured on the show. Technically, the first ever character that was created was Owen. Number 34. Many can attest to the writers staying authentic and true when it came to the dialogue. To help with their authenticity, the voice actors were allowed to ad-lib once they were comfortable with their characters. Number 35. When production on the show first started, the cast had 26 characters to memorize. Unfortunately, the character designs weren't finished, so they had to do this based on dialogue alone. Number 36. Typically, shows have a 7-person limit when it comes to writing main characters. TDI broke records with 22 main characters, and many producers claim the show would never work because of it. Boy, they were wrong. Number 37. The voice actors were more restricted during the first season because the show was still finding itself. As the series progressed, so did the characters, such as Chris McLean, who had completely evolved from the personality he was in the first episode. Number 38. Emily Claire Barlow is known as Courtney to TDI fans, but when she's not voice acting, she's actually a world-class jazz vocalist and a 2-time Juno Award winner, with 11 self-produced albums. Number 39. Emily never actually read for the role of Courtney. She auditioned for Bridget, Heather, and Katie, but didn't get cast for anything at first. Number 40. Emily assumed she didn't have a role on Total Drama Island until she got a call from the producers, saying they were actually recasting Courtney. So the first 2 episodes of TDI featured a different voice actor for Courtney. Number 41. Emily's first ever audition was to replace Katie Griffin on Sailor Moon, as Sailor Mars. Despite it being her very first audition, she landed it, and it became one of her most iconic roles next to Courtney to this day. Number 42. Several of the voice actors on TDI were also on 16, including Chris POTENZA, Emily Claire, and Megan Fallenbach. Number 43. Emily Claire Barlow voiced Chrissy on 16. She was the leader of The Clones and the manager of the Khaki Barn. Number 44. Courtney loves singing solely because her voice actor is a famous singer. Season 3, which had a big musical element, was referred to as a dream job by Emily Claire Barlow. Number 45. The group recording session proved difficult for some of the cast, mostly because of Scott McCord. His performances were so hilarious that the rest of the cast had a hard time restraining their laughter. Number 46. Courtney adores Harold. Well, her voice actor does anyway. Emily said that both Harold and Owen crack her up like no other. Number 47. Emily is married to a famous composer that works in film and TV, Daniel LeBlanc. He actually co-wrote the Bakugan theme song. Number 48. Emily Claire didn't really pursue voice acting. She fell into it through music. She started getting voice work through some commercial jingles that she sang when she was younger. Number 49. Heather is voiced by Rachel Wilson, who actually helped Chris Potenza get his start in voice acting. They met while working on a play, and she introduced Chris to her agent, who then signed him shortly after. Number 50. Rachel Wilson kicked off her acting career at age 12, performing in theaters. About 5 years later, she had already broken into television and film, starring as Burt Reynolds' daughter in the film Mystery, Alaska. Number 51. TDI was Rachel Wilson's first big cartoon role, and she was very intimidated by the situation. She bonded with Chris Potenza, who in return helped her run lines and familiarize herself with the world of animation. Number 52. It goes without saying, Rachel Wilson played the mean girl role perfectly, but everyone says she's the nicest person in real life. Ironically, Heather's off-putting attitude was what appealed to Rachel the most. Number 53. Since the start of the show TDI, Rachel Wilson said she feels like she's become more like her character. Not only is she more confident in being honest about her feelings towards a situation, but she even went from blonde to brunette. Number 54. In the show, Heather was traumatized by the loss of her hair. Out of everything that happened throughout the TDI series, Heather going bald was by far the worst the character experienced, according to her voice actor anyway. Number 55. Despite the loss of Heather's hair as being traumatic towards the character, it's actually her voice actor's favorite moment. Wilson felt like Heather finally got her comeuppance. Number 56. The cast also loved the reality-based concept of the show, particularly the gross things the contestants had to eat. Number 57. Rachel Wilson did a guest star role in an episode of 16 as Melinda Wilson before she landed her big cartoon role on TDI. Number 58. Wilson is also the voice behind a lot of big-name products on television, so you may recognize Heather's voice narrating a McDonald's, Kellogg's cereal, and Sun Chips commercial. And now I'm hungry. Number 59. At one point, fans could buy life-size cardboard cutouts of their favorite characters online, or in certain novelty stores. Unfortunately, they only made the most popular characters on the show, and surprisingly, that didn't include Mean Girl Heather. Number 60. The staff knew early on that only half the cast would be returning for another season. A discussion took place on which characters to move forward with based on entertainment value and fan feedback. Number 61. The writers felt that Justin didn't live up to his full potential during Total Drama Island. After the first season was finished, he was redesigned immediately to become the villain of the show. Number 62. Because of how expensive and laborsome it was to design and create all the characters, it was a production decision to maintain the same characters through most of the following seasons. Number 63. Like any other animation, a library of sounds had to be created for each individual character on the show. This means every voice actor had to sound out countless noises, such as sneezing, farting, or impact noises for every possible action. Number 64. Gwen's voice actor, Megan Fallenbach, was actually discovered in a convenience store at age 13. She immediately got her start in film and theater after that. Number 65. Owen's voice actor, Scott McCord, has done minor roles in quite a few action movies. He's featured in the 16 Blocks and the 11th Hour TV series and is a victim in Shoot 'em Up. Number 66. According to Novi Edwards, voice of Lashana, her character will always have a special place in her heart for Harold, but if anyone was meant for Lashana, it would be bad boy Alejandro. Number 67. Novi Edwards said she's worse than her character Lashana in real life, but her personality is closer to that of Gwen, and is a little mix of Duncan too. Number 68. Novi Edwards dubbed Lashana's best line as "The dance train is leaving the station," and her best moment by far is her awkward yet intimidating cheer tactic for Duncan. Number 69. Several of the cast members are good friends that managed to stick together on other projects. To name just a few, Chris Potenza, Stephanie Mills, Novi Edwards, and Scott McCord frequent other shows together such as Disney's Yin Yang Yo, Sidekick, and Fresh TV's 16 and Stoked. Besties for life. Number 70. Stephanie Mills voiced Lindsay on TDI, but not many realize she was also the voice of Katie. Stephanie claims her #1 character type are the really dumb girls. Number 71. Chris McClane and Chef Hatchet are the only two characters that are consistent throughout the entire Total Drama series. Number 72. There were a lot of theories circulating about the contents of Chris McClane's mysterious sack-like charm he wore around his neck. Truth is, the writers never settled on an idea. They just figured he should have something that resembled a good luck charm. Number 73. Owen's shirt features the Canadian maple leaf. The wardrobe was intentionally drawn to represent Canada, so that the world would know TDI was a Canadian-born series. Gotta represent. Number 74. The leaf on Owen's shirt is blue because it pays homage to the Toronto hockey team, the Maple Leafs. Number 75. Tom McGillis attributes TDI's success to the power of parody. Ratings for the show were significantly higher on seasons that parodied Survivor, which were seasons 1, 4, and 5. Number 76. The confession cams were created last minute to basically run up the clock. A few times when the studio was supposed to deliver the pilot episode, the episode was short several minutes, so they thought of the cams as a way to fill up space. Number 77. 5 minutes of new content was created for the pilot episode and added within 2 days. That includes everything from writing to recording to animating, a process that usually takes several months. Number 78. When the writers did try to explore the relationship between Duncan and Gwen, it was requested by the station, Teletoon, that they eventually break them up. The network decided that since the target audience was primarily kids, they shouldn't focus on any big romances in the story. Number 79. Chris McClane's voice actor, Chris POTENZA, said that there is only one character on the show that the others don't even hold a candle to, and that is Mr. Coconut. Apparently, Mr. Coconut is hands down his favorite character ever. Number 80. Owen happened to be McGillis' favorite character on the show, and because he was made to sport the Canadian leaf, it was decided early on that he would be the winner of the first season. Number 81. Chris POTENZA said he thought his character, Chris McClane, needed some more pizzazz. He wished the host got a love interest, or did anything besides terrorizing kids. Number 82. Hey, anything is possible in the world of Total Drama. There was even talk of including a time machine at some point in one of the episodes. Kinda wanna see that. Reboot, anyone? Number 83. Chris POTENZA said he played the character of the host well, but outside of the pranks, he virtually has nothing in common with Chris McClane. POTENZA said he relates more to Jude from 16 and Trevor from Sidekick, considering their outlook on life. Number 84. Drew Nelson, the voice of Duncan, admits that his favorite TDI character is actually Owen. This seems to be a running trend amongst most of the cast and the crew. Number 85. Nelson is recognized more for the role of Duncan than any other character he's played. He claims fans are mostly fascinated by the Duncan, Courtney, and Gwen love triangle. Number 86. The cast can attest to getting some of the oddest questions and requests from the fanbase. Some of the funniest of which and most frequently asked are the X-rated questions, which we will not disclose here. Number 87. Drew Nelson originally auditioned for the role of Chris McClane, and the audition went really well. He also read for Owen, Ezekiel, and Duncan, and obviously got a callback for Duncan. Number 88. It may go without saying that Duncan hates singing, but his voice actor has an addiction to it. He loves to do karaoke, and his favorite song is I Wanna Know What Love Is by Foreigner. Number 89. While it is true that Drew Nelson is mostly recognized by his voice work in TDI, he has done some pretty notable roles since. You may recognize him as Matt Sales from The Strain on FX, or Kurt the Reptilian from People of Earth. Number 90. It was never actually decided on whether or not Duncan had a preference between Gwen or Courtney, but Drew himself had some opinions. He felt the obvious choice was Gwen because they had so many similarities. Number 91. Several minor background characters were also voiced by Drew Nelson on a whim. The voice director had him randomly ad-lib some accents, and the two laughed the whole time. Number 92. Drew Nelson actually refers to Owen and Duncan as a hilarious, odd couple. He adored the pairing so much he often requested they do more scenes together. Number 93. Any scene featuring Duncan and Owen was an absolute pleasure for Drew Nelson to perform. He's a fan of Owen's voice actor, Scotty McCord, and called his work nothing short of brilliant. Number 94. Season 3 of TDI, entitled Total Drama World Tour, was originally going to be called Total Drama The Musical, which explains why the contestants were forced to sing at random. The name was changed once they realized that the season was funnier without that explanation. Number 95. No one anticipated the success of the show. As soon as the Total Drama DVD hit the shelves, Fresh TV was already producing Total Drama World Tour. Number 96. As the show progresses, both within the season and the series as a whole, the obstacles get more and more ridiculous. In fact, the creators actually strove to find more ways to humiliate their cast and characters. Number 97. Harold's famous beatboxing scene went viral. Some TDI crews swear it inspired a few YOP yogurt commercials that followed shortly after the success of the video. Number 98. TDI received much praise, often being referred to as one of the hottest cartoons of the time. Metacritic gave it an 8.5 rating, meaning it reached universal acclaim. Common Sense Media gave TDI 4 out of 5 stars, referring to the show as a clever reality show spoof. And it was also nominated for a Gemini Award for Best Animated Series. Number 99. In the song Changing Guards mix, 2 of the original lyrics that Sierra sang were changed because they were thought to be too inappropriate. Number 100. Vice President of Teletoon Network, Carol Boniao, stated that TDI, among the other Fresh TV programs, were consistently top performers in terms of ratings. The show proved popular among ages 6 to 11, but it also helped pull in impressive numbers for older viewers as well. Number 101. Once TDI aired in America, it reached a 500% ratings increase for its time slot alone. That year, it reached about 3.5 million viewers. Number 102. The TDI fanbase was so devoted that there's countless fanfic, fan art, and videos online dedicated to the series, even 10 years later. Some fans have even been known to animate themselves in the style of the show. Number 103. Creating promotional material for Total Drama Island continued all the way into 2012. Well, after the 4th season was released. This was undoubtedly due to the oddly timed international releases. Number 104. The DVD was released in August of 2009, which contained all 27 episodes of Season 1, including the outtakes, deleted scenes, and extras. The DVD also contained all the campers' audition tapes.
I'm pretty and smart, and I get along with everyone, even ugly girls.
Number 105. The bonus features on the Season 1 DVD menu reveals that Izzy had auditioned twice. She also had an exclusive interview with the host, Chris McLean. Number 106. Online feedback played a huge role in determining the outcome of the show. The responses posted on the TDI blogspot played a role in who returned for Season 2. Number 107. TDI got so popular, it was even featured on Jeopardy! The clue was Dodge Brawl and Brunch of Disgustingness were episodes on this Survivor-like island.
What is Total Drama Island?
Thanks for watching 107 Facts about Total Drama Island. Which character is your favorite? What challenge would you be good at? Comment below and let us know. We have new videos dropping every week, so let us know which animated film or TV show you want us to cover next. And if you like getting more from your cartoons, subscribe to Channel Frederator, your cartoon central on the internet.